Hello my boys, good morning. I made my coffee here because today we're gonna have a real discussion. So GGG revealed patch 326, which is called Secrets of the Atlas, but before we get down into that thing, which will start in a couple of weeks from now, so it's pretty close, we need to start with the basics. So Settlers of Kalgur League, the last league that we're currently in, this one, lasted for close to 1 year. This is an indication that something is happening. In case you are new to Path of Exile 1, you need to understand that in the past, these leagues that GGG did lasted 3 months, and not only that, towards the end of the league you had 3 weeks, 3 special events, and with prizes, everything like that. So in 1 year you could see 4 different leagues and 12 special events, and it was all dandy and fine. This game was enjoyable like this. Later something happened, so they wanted to implement a new game called Path of Exile 2, and they were needing developers. So what they did, they migrated some of the guys that were working on Path of Exile 1 and they switched them to Path of Exile 2. And this affected Path of Exile 1. For example, the leagues started to get longer. So no longer 3-month league, 4-month leagues. We have less events, and this was one of the outcomes. But not only here, the league content started to get shallow. The leagues started to get simplified, less lore, like Necropolis, you have one bald guy with a wheelbarrow appearing out of thin air. You have things like Crucible League where it felt unfinished, and the list can go on. So the league started to get longer, shallower, with less effort and work on them. And this is solely because of Path of Exile 2. They wanted to get this game out. Yeah, and things will get even worse because now Path of Exile 2 is in early access and they want to ship it. So GGG is doing their best they can in order to finish this product. So if Path of Exile 2 now it's a 4 out of 10 game, they want to work on it so it can be at least 7 out of 10 for the moment that they will officially release it. This means that they will keep some of the developers that came from Path of Exile 1 on Path of Exile 2 so they can finish that product. And this will affect the quality of the Path of Exile 1 leagues, as I will show you. And I can give you some examples. When they introduced tier 17 maps, the last bosses feel like cheap copycats from already existing bosses from inside the game. For example, we have Licia from Sanctum, we have the Unbreakable from Heist, we have Katarina from Betrayal, and Allroth from Expedition. So they just changed the colors, added 1-2 extra mechanics and call it a day. Cut down cost and save time. And in order to cut down cost and save time, we also see in Settlers of Kalgur what they did here. Why make new models? Why pay developers when you can just reuse some of the existing models? So they took the Expedition guys, they also took guys from Heist, and they put it on an island called Kalgur. And that's what they did in order to save time and cut down cost. And people said that Settlers of Kalgur was in an innovative league. And I explained the moment it got released that they are doing experiments in order to help Path of Exile 2 inside Path of Exile 1. So the auction house and the gold system was implemented in Path of Exile 1 as a way to test waters for Path of Exile 2. That was the whole idea. That's why they added gold first in Path of Exile 1, is to see how things go. So it was a guinea pig. Settlers of Kalgur was a guinea pig league for Path of Exile 2. And now regarding the other things like the Recombinator, like the map device with with map runners and the ship mechanics and stuff like that, they are just reusing content from older projects that never seen the light of day. I've seen players that said, well, we had Legacy of Prussia. Wow, they worked a lot. No, they didn't work at all. They even said it officially that they reused older assets that they already had and just implemented. So they already had the ascendancies done, they already had the idol system in place, and they just did Legacy of Prussia League in order to shush players that were upset because patch 326 got delayed multiple times because the developers were working on Path of Exile 2, which will still be the trend. Yeah? So to keep it in short, I don't expect miracles from this league, but the good news is that Path of Exile 1, it's very complex, has a beautiful end game with a lot of activities and variations, so even if you're new to the game, this will not affect you. But compared to the league system that GGG did in the past, with a lot of effort, a lot of unique things and lore, most likely we won't see anything like that in the future for Path of Exile 1, at least until they finish with the early access for Path of Exile 2. This is the reality. They're trying to push out Path of Exile 2 above Path of Exile 1, and they're doing their best to make that game work. The reason why I stay a lot in Path of Exile 2 is because I know that Path of Exile 2 is the future. GGG is trying so hard to push it to make it a good game, and I believe in them. I believe that in 1-2 years, Path of Exile 2 will become much better than what it's currently now. This is common sense, actually. So let's go back to patch 326 discussion. So we had this mini video here, like a big spoiler, and I wanted to talk a few things. First of all, you need to understand that they put less work even in these spoilers and trailers, less than what they did in the past. For example, let's play it a little.
These worlds are endless, and yet
you need to understand, so why put a background when you can have just a model that's walking in the dark space? You know, they are cutting down costs, you have to believe me, in order to save time and money for Path of Exile 2. This is, compared to what GGG did in the past, this is pretty basic, yeah? This is pretty basic. And I also want to talk one more thing. People starting saying, wow, this is big, this is an expansion, because they use the wording expansion. I need to remind you that in Status of Kalgur League, we had the word expansion everywhere. Everywhere they put expansion, so it's not entirely sure that this will be a huge expansion. In the past, when GGG announced an expansion, you could predict a lot of major changes to the game, to the core of the game. But because in Status of Kalgur they also put the wording expansion everywhere, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Plus, they're focusing a lot on Path of Exile 2. They want to get it out of the early access period. I already left my guess here. Some people don't believe, but I've seen here Secrets of the Atlas, and I said, man, the league mechanic that will be needs to interact with the Atlas because of the name. This usually they put hints in the name, and also in the start here when I play the video, it says these things.
And yet they are a prison.
When he refers these worlds are endless and yet they are a prison, he is referring to the maps. You know, even when we had the Shaper, same idea. When Shaper said worlds, he was referring to the maps. And seeing the maps are endless, it will be a mapping mechanic, the league. This is what I think that will be, yeah? Because some players here don't pay attention to these details. Pretty sure that will be Atlas-related content for mapping this league. But I don't expect miracles, and I explained you why. You need to understand that it breaks my heart. So I've been playing Path of Exile 1 almost daily for more than 7 years. You always see me from the very first day till the very last day. Now, because we have Path of Exile 2, towards the end I migrate to Path of Exile 2 because I want to get there better and know the game much more. But usually in Path of Exile 1, until the last day, you could find me inside. And seeing that GGG altered the game in this way, it really breaks my heart. I'm really curious about the reveal stream, which will be in a couple of days, but again, I don't have high expectations for this. The only great thing is that Path of Exile 1 has a good core with a lot of variation, with a lot of endgame activities that you can do, and it's just great. Even the Atlas skill tree, if you take a look, it's magnificent. Well, until then, I will keep you up to date. Enjoy the rest of the day, and good luck.